Attention! Go!
So the thing that a lot of people don't understand about rowing is that it's almost entirely powered by your leg muscles, your quads, your hamstrings. A lot of people think, when they think of rowing, they think of someone rowing a rowboat and it's just their arms and their back, but actually sort of a key to a lot of good rowing and effective rowing is using your arms and back as little as possible and using your big muscle groups and your legs to derive most of your power. The race is an interesting thing. In high school we have a little bit of a different perspective on it because we race 1,500 meters instead of 2,000 meters, which is sort of the standard in the rowing world. We sit at the starting line, and the call is usually attention, row, and then you're off. And so you want to really move the water in those first 2 or 3 strokes. And so those first 3 strokes are really heavy and you're just moving it through, and then once the boat starts going, you get the momentum, and then you start to tap it along. You usually want to have a really high strokes per minute at this point to just sort of get that momentum and keep the boat picking up speed.
There's 3 parts of the rowing stroke. The catch is when you put your oar in the water. The drive is when you push your legs down. Of the recovery, you go arms, back, and then legs.
Usually after about 20 or so strokes, you'll take your settle and you'll sort of try to settle into your rhythm for the rest of the race. And the goal with the settle is to maintain the pressure and maintain the speed of the boat when it hurts. And a team starts pushing through you and they start moving. There's nothing worse than that. It's real hard to push through that pain.
So there are 9 people in a boat, 8 rowers and a coxswain. The coxswain sits at the very stern, and it's probably the most important person in the boat. They take care of steering, they give us calls, things to focus on, keep us aggressive, and they're really the voice. Everyone else is just pulling, but the coxswain does everything else in the boat. The first rower in front of the coxswain is the 8 seat or stroke. They set the rhythm and they lead the boat. Immediately behind the stroke is 7 seat. They are really in charge of transmitting the rhythm from the 8 seat to the rest of the boat. So they need to be right on time with the 8 seat all the time because they need to be able to send that signal back and keep everyone else in line. The next 2 rowers, 5 and 6, and also 3 and 4, are what's called the engine room. They are typically the biggest, strongest guys in the boat, and their biggest job is just to pull like mad. Like they're always very, very strong, and that's where a lot of the power in a boat comes from. Then the 2 in the bow, the bow seat and the 2 seat, are generally the smallest, lightest guys, and they are also typically very, very technically proficient because they need to be in charge of setting the boat, keeping it stable, and keeping the feel good so that the rest of the boat can focus on other things like pulling like mad.
And then you sort of reach the end of that middle 500, and you're going to the last 500 meters. At this point, it's like the pain's there, and you know it's there, but you know you're close to the end, and so you're just really, really pushing it through to the end. You're about 20 strokes in, there's about 10 strokes left, you're really, really feeling it at this point, and you're just like trying to drag yourself across the line. And yeah, and then you're across the line. Usually there's some sort of horn that announces you're across, and then it's just sort of like, you just breathe, you just try and breathe. Yeah.
Andover crew in our boat is the most special team that I've ever gotten to be a part of. There's just a lot of love, a lot of drive, and everyone just pushes each other to be the best and have fun every single day.
The crew team means for me is that it's a place where after school, bad grade or good grade, I can go, leave it all behind, row with the 7 other guys and Clarissa, and then we'll all go to we'll do stretching after, do some abs, and go to dinner together. And so it kind of just gives me like a scheduled afternoon. It's something otherwise I wouldn't have.
I don't know. Rowing is so much a part of your life and your life at the same time that I don't know, not having it be that anymore is really